Okay, hello audience. My name is Oral Angel Alamar, and welcome to How to Develop Your Psychic Connections and New Predictions for the Future, brought to you by the Thrive Healers Network. And today we have an amazing guest. Monique, would you please
Leurink.
introduce yourself? Oh, sorry, say that again.
My name is Monique Leurink. That's that. Some people cannot pronounce it well, but that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to butcher it. Okay, so Monique Leurink, would you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yep. Thank you very well. Thank you very much, Aura. And
yeah,
I'm honored to be a guest in this great event. I am an astrologer. I have been an astrologer for all of my life. My father was an astrologer, so I was raised with it. And I specialized myself in a new field of astrology, which is called diamond astrology. And that is, I gave masterclasses for Astrology Hub to teach this to a large audience. And it is really about the depth of who you are and what your purpose is. And it's so, in short, diamond astrology uses the black sun, the black moon, the diamond, Priapus, and the North Node, the South Node, Dragon and Beast, and the part of Fortune. These are 9 luminaries, not planets, but these are 9 luminaries. I will explain it in a talk that everybody can understand it. That is a sort of layer on top of the traditional chart. So that explains the unique spiritual navigation route for each person. And I believe that is what we need today.
That is, I would say so. I really want to get into what these luminaries are, because it sounds so interesting, and I've never ever actually heard of this. So please, would you elaborate on what the luminaries are and what this means?
Of course. I'm going to share my screen with you. So I made some slides, and then we're going to talk about it and how you can use it today, because I believe this is so useful for every person to see what the roadmap is. Let me share my screen. And here we go. And put this here and enlarge this a little bit. Oh, sorry, no, I cannot go. Sorry, I need to do this. Yeah, this is better. First of all, it is all actually these days, everybody wants to know, where do I go? What is this? What kind of world? These questions, it's difficult, or it's not, or it's chaos, etc. In a nutshell, and I'm going to talk about it all in this presentation. This time, more than ever, is about 3 core things. The first is, who am I? And that covers a lot. Who am I? The second is purpose. And purpose is the most asked question, I believe, in astrology. What is my purpose? I will also dive into that. And about uniqueness. That is the 3 main cores to navigate in this time through chaos to clarity. So this is the triptych of purpose. And when people talk about purpose, astrologers talk about purpose, we mostly look at the North Node, right? The nodal axis, South Node, North Node. That is, yes, purpose, part of the totality of purpose as far as we can see it now, because diamond astrology unfolds 2 more themes of purposes, and that is the black moon, not as the black moon as many people know it. You call it black moon Lilith. Well, actually, these are 2 different things. Lilith is a goddess. The black moon is a luminary. It's not a planet, it's a luminary, it's a derivative, but you will all see it in a few moments. And that also contains purpose. And then the diamond, which is also a luminary. What does it mean? How can you use it? And that is what I will explain next. So I specialized in the so-called triptych of purpose. Of course, I do much more, but that is really the question of today. Now, what is what? The black moon is actually the path of the conscious creator in yourself. I know that many people know the black moon as, oh, that's the dark feminine. But actually, it is the first phase of the black moon that is the dark. It's not necessarily the dark feminine, but it's a shadow part of your cosmic identity. What is very interesting is the second phase of the black moon. And that is a path of, let's say, unfolding the source wisdom that you were born with. Every person is born with a precious, very precious gift, which I call source wisdom. And let's say in the first half of life, this wisdom you're born with is rejected by the surroundings. And it's a whole long story, why and how, etc. But that light cannot shine from the start of your birth of your life. So rejection is painful. And therefore you may call it the dark side, if you like. It hurts, you know, if you are denied in the most precious, beautiful source wisdom you were born with, that hurts. And children are not aware of it. So actually, that is the first part of the process where you are, where you become invisible, where you don't believe yourself anymore, and when you start to survive. You know, you start to adapt in life. But in the second half of life, this is again knocking at the door, this source wisdom, and wants to unfold, because that source wisdom is like the most beautiful cosmic flower with great intensity that you carry inside in your consciousness, and that wants to unfold through you into this world. And that is a birthing process, and that is the second phase of that black moon process. And that is the phase of becoming visible. It's enlightening. It is really starting to marry yourself again, and to give the most precious talent that you have inside to this world. That is a life process. Then the diamond, I'm going to show it in a few slides afterwards, is the point where you can express your exclusive uniqueness by cutting or grinding the diamond to an exceptional quality. That is also purpose. And I will explain it. You will all understand it. And the third theme of purpose is, of course, the north node that most people know. It's the call of your soul, because the soul knows how it can grow, and it calls you, hey, take this path and then I can grow. So let's have a look. Oh, now it doesn't. Oh, yeah, here we are. Yes. Yeah, sorry. So this is actually first let's have a look at the black moon very, very quickly. When you take the cycle of the black moon, you see that the black moon is furthest from Earth, where she reaches her furthest position from Earth, and there she gets solar qualities. She becomes a higher moon, and this is where she is closest to Earth, where she becomes very adapted to the world, the way we have organized her. Now, in an elliptical orbit, and this is all diamond astrology, we work with elliptical orbits, and that yields two focal points: Earth, the way we know Earth, the world, and we see a void, which is a sort of mirrored Earth, a whole blank new Earth. And in that sense, we can say the luminaries of diamond astrology are no planets. They are derivatives from the orbits of sun and moon. So here we find one, and this is your unconditional wisdom. It's less, the white moon is borrowed light, and it's usually conditioned emotionality of feelings. but the black moon is pure. So that contains that immense intensity of wisdom that every person carries inside. And if we go a little further, then we see the same story for the sun and earth. So we have here the apparent orbit of the sun around Earth. Of course, it's Earth that is going around the sun, and then we see that again. We see the largest distance from Earth to the sun. The sun is also going in this direction. Apparent sun, apparent orbit is called the black sun. And the opposite point is called the diamond. And you can see it's an immense cycle of 9,200 years. The total cycle is a very long cycle, more than 110,000 years. So that black sun right now is on the 12th, 13th degree in Cancer. So for everybody, it's in Cancer. And the diamond is 12, 13 in Capricorn. But the thing is, where it makes it unique is the house position where it is in. And that can tell a lot. So this is an immense cycle also. So we can see, okay, the black moon and Priapus is the lunar axis. And then we have black sun and diamond is the solar axis. And from that, we also, let's say, can see purpose as a unique talent that you can let's say create, but in totality you can say the whole cycle, the whole path of black sun to the diamond is called the hero's journey. And that means that you more and more distinguish yourself. You get out of the, let's say, sheeple matrix of the people who do all the things the same, etc. You start to really go inside, and that is also the question, or the answer to the question, who am I? You know, so black moon, and then we have the diamond, and then next we find here the nodal axis. So here the nodal axis, the north node, is of course the core of the soul, as I just called it. So if we look at these three cosmic axes, we find here, so to speak, Earth in the middle. We see here the whole lunar cycle of the moon, and here she becomes the black moon, and where she is closest to Earth, she becomes Priapus, which is also the same for your survival strategy. And we see here the whole cycle of the black sun and the diamond that also has an immense impact on our lives. And on top of it, we find another luminary, no planet again, but it's a very important axis. We all know that, and that is north node, south node. So we can say, all right, the three luminaries that really can unfold our path of purpose, unique path of purpose, is black moon, north node, and diamond. And when you said, oh, this is in the chart, you can see it in the chart, and okay, on top of it, so I am also a traditional astrologer. I teach many students. I have my own training institution. I have done this for 48 years or more. I give readings all over the world. I've given masterclasses for Astrology Hub, and people love it. So it is new, really new, and I love to teach it, you know. And then, okay, that is the first. Say, okay, what is the question? Who am I and my purpose? Another thing is, in these days, about the question, who am I, that we need to look at the following. We need to look at the fact, and we all know that Pluto is entering Aquarius. And that is now, you can see it on the slide, 24th March till 11th of June for the first time, and then it will continue in 2024. And then for another 20 years, it will be in Aquarius. And that means a splitting of worlds. And we know that this axis, Aquarius, Leo, is the axis of the king and the people. And when this was the last time this happened was with the French Revolution. And that also split apart worlds, and with American War of Independence, I believe. So we get a sort of splitting, and because of this splitting, what are you choosing? Are you choosing the world of the technology and let's say, oh, I don't have to think, let the government think for me, and I'll just do what the government says? Or am I choosing for my Leo side, my heart, and am I going to follow my passion, Leo, and knowing who I am? So this is really now, and because Pluto is now entering Aquarius, this year and 2024, you can say, is a year that you have to decide what you're going to do, because the pressure will be so big that you have to choose. Are you going to go this way, or are you going to go that way? And that is big. Let's say, of course, it's an immense choice. There is no point of return here. You really need to make up your mind. Another thing is what I want to talk about when we talk about who am I, purpose, etc., is of course the age of Aquarius, and we all know this, but we can see here that this is a cycle. We are now entering the age of Aquarius, but what does that mean? Now, we are abandoning the Piscean world, and that is the world of collectivity. And we are now entering the world of individuality. But we must take into account that Aquarius is always connected with Leo. Like in the previous age, Pisces is connected with Virgo. It was actually the Piscean Virgo age. Pisces was Jesus, Virgo was Mother Mary. They were the two avatars who really this age is going to begin. And during that 2000 years, in the Western world at least, we actually, when we look at this whole story as a cosmic story, we can say that the values of both Pisces and of Virgo had to be integrated with every human being, like compassion and love, and for Virgo it is purity, a pure body, and servitude, and name it. Now the same goes for now the age of Aquarius, because it is not only the Aquarian values that we have to integrate, but also the Leo ones. And that means Leo, we see it already happening. And when this happens, a new era, a cosmic month, as I call it, let's say that this goes with eruptions. It's not a smooth thing, especially because it's Aquarius Leo. It's totally different energy than Pisces and Virgo. The negative side of Leo is that this world knows many narcissists. Many people say, oh, I want to be famous. Oh, I'm at this. Oh, look at me. Oh, I. That's the negative part of it. But the real values on the highest level of Leo are, who am I? It's about me. But then the me that says, oh, I really have first to do all the work inside, and knowing who I am, knowing not only myself in my personality, but also in my, as I call it, cosmic identity. And that is diamond astrology. Who are you in your cosmic genes? And that also means that you need to integrate characteristics like courage, Leo, creativity, Leo, but also consciousness, that's more Aquarius, strength, and daring to rise as a unique individual in your own power, not as a selfish narcissist, of course, but as someone said, I know who I am, know thyself. And that is the message, to really go inside, because children say it, say, "Oh, mama, you look up at the universe, at the stars, but it's all inside. I know it. I just came from it." And they know that the stars and the universe are there. And we adults need to remember that, because everything is inside. And that is the diamond path. The diamond path. So when you look at the diamond in the houses as a luminary, it unfolds a certain path in your life as well. And you can rise indeed as a person in your own right, and awakened and conscious and present. So that is also a call of these days, to know yourself, but also, of course, and therefore, if you have the best version of yourself, you can be a sunshine in your surroundings.
Exactly.
Awake. Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is. Oh, not here first. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, by the way. I think I really needed to hear that. I think I really needed that to soak in for me, because it seems like this era that you're speaking about is really real for me. I'm at a point to where I have to move into my most courageous and powerful self. So thank you for saying that, because again, it's confirmation for me that it's time for me to move into a place of my enlightenment, and I hope that it speaks as deeply to me as it did to the people who are watching. So again, thank you so much for saying that.
Oh, well, I love to hear this, that it touches your heart. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. But yeah, that's the message. And in that sense, when you know who you are, and when you know what your purpose are, because this is actually on one line, when you know what your purpose is, as much as possible, as broad and wide as possible, then you can also say, this is me. I follow my star. I like to say that. I follow my star. This is my star. I can never go your path, Oro. You can never go my path. So when you reverse it, hey, you're born and a path is waiting to be walked by you alone, because you alone can walk that path. And that is what you have to do. So that will awaken you and give you the power and strength and the blessing of the universe. Because once you do that, there are so many unemployed angels, and they say, "Oh, wow, there is somebody going the path, Yeah, we've got to work, we can help, we can support." Yeah, so this is the cosmic pendulum. I created this in a webinar I made that is called The Age of Aquarius, which has very much information. And this pendulum is really going like a clock, up and down. I wrote a book about this whole thing. It's not only, it's only Aquarius. No, it goes, then we have Aquarian energy, and then boom, we go to the other side and we have more Leo energy. And then we have more negative energy of Leo, and then we have more negative energy of Aquarius. But it just goes up and down, or to and fro, as you call it, until it's done, until we have lived it and experienced it, and until these 2,000 years are over. And then we can say a cosmic era will end always with a sort of, let's say, implosion of the negative qualities of both signs. And we can see that today. We see in the sign of Virgo, we see the pharmaceutical industry as a very toxic, thing. And we see in Pisces, we see also toxicity. Things are poisoned and with the chemtrails and well, name it. So that's also happening.
Wait, before we continue, I want to ask, where can people find your book? Where can they buy it?
Yeah. Oh, that I need to say, I have written 2 books in Dutch, but I'm going to publish a new book that is actually the totality of what I'm doing with diamond astrology, and that will be published end of 23. So I'm deeply into the writing of this book, and it's on my website too. If you want to, want to know when it will be published, then you can go to the website. So thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Last thing that maybe people know or maybe not is the passage through the photon belt. Have you heard about that, Oro, once or
No,
not?
not at
No?
all.
Okay. Oh, this is so interesting. So let's say that you have heard of the Seven Sisters or the Pleiades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pleiades, everybody knows it. And you see here actually the Pleiades is also a system, a sort of solar system. And Alcyone is the central sun of the Pleiades, like we have a sun as well. That's Alcyone for the Pleiades. And then it has several celestial bodies as well. But our solar system is passing through, of course, it's the solar system is also having the orbit around the whole galactic, the galactic central sun of the Milky Way. But this passage is very interesting. The photon belt is actually also called the Golden Nebula. You can all look it up on the internet, and it is let's say it's a nebula of immense high photonic light, immensely high. And I made a text and I want to read it with you so that you really know what it is about. But because we are starting to move through this belt, that is the whole cause of the awakening of us people. That is the cause. Let's read it. Again, I have to do this in a very short period of time, so people can always look on internet or on books if it is right what I'm saying or want to know more, but let us have a look at this text. The passage through the photon belt is the cause of the Great Awakening. It awakens the diamond light in you. Oh God, a sense of self that you are much more than your personality alone. It is a process of peeling off all that you're not. That process is equal to the grinding the diamond in you. And grinding the diamond means to peel off what you are not, to let go of what you are not. You are embracing who you truly are, and what is hidden in you will come to the light. This belt is an ocean of light near the Pleiades, around the Pleiades, with an immensity of photon energy. Because of this passage, we are all in a sort of pressure cooker now. We are all transforming. We are all changing. That's the cause. And that feels as if we are all in labor, in a birthing process of who we are in essence. This process is equal to the Black Moon process. And this has an immense impact on our lives. Everything that has been in the dark for thousands of years will come to the light. Everything. And our solar system orbits across this photon belt twice in about 26,000 years, equal to the precession cycle. Yeah, the great crossing thus occurs every 13,000 years about. The great cleaning or purification naturally occurring at this time is the result of the surge of brilliant photonic light from the galactic sun, sorry about the typos, through the conduit of the galactic plane photon belt. And in our language, we call this the shift. That is the cause. Where does it come from, that shift? We are now preparing for the diamond phase in our lives, a phase in which the true core of your heart and essence can more and more align with the divine in you. And this is the last slide about this. This is an individual process and happens within consciousness and with the power of your mind. Controlling your thoughts is most important to not get caught in negativity, of course. Although the external world is in chaos, and in the density of the 3D matrix, you can choose to keep away from it by the power of your mind and heart. The Black Moon rules the higher heart and the higher mind. And the diamond, let's say, is the totality of that. With the beginning of the age of Aquarius, we are now shifting from, sorry about the typos, I just typed it all, but okay. The galactic Piscean age to the individual Aquarian consciousness. The Aquarian energy is stimulating our individuality and our uniqueness to come to the foreground. To become a conscious individual implies that you know who you are, also in parts that are hidden in you. That is about that book. So all these things are happening. Everything is pulsating. Who am I? What is my purpose? Where am I going? Awakening, etc. Last but not least, I want to talk about the North Node position, because the North Node, collective North Node, is, let's say, our collective challenge. It is moving, of course, in retrograde, in transit, and we had from May 2022 till January 2022, the collective North Node was in Gemini. And when a North Node is in Gemini collectively, it heralds change. The old is going away, and then a new thing is coming. Now, at that time, in that period, Neptune was squaring that nodal axis. And Neptune had, let's say, given us illusions that we did not know anymore what was true. And Gemini is also the news, is also news platforms, is media. And that was actually caused us that now many alternative media channels have emerged, platforms you can say that say, hey, we tell the truth, listen to us. And before that North Node transit, that was not the case. So that is how it came up. And when we look at now, the January 2022 till July this year 23, the North Node is in Taurus. And then we say, okay, we know about talking about disowning of land and property, Taurus. It's a property position. When also we know about money. Well, the whole system during this transition or this transit is the monetary system is going to change, whether you like it or not, but it's going to change, not only because there's inflation and the whole monetary system is exhausted the way it is now. And so we are now moving to a new way of paying, if you like. That is also. So now very soon, July 2023 till 25 January, the North Node will go in 2 areas. That is about our autonomy, our sense of self, again, self. But it's also entrepreneurship. That's Aries. Aries loves to, be the entrepreneur. It's and this will change a lot in the world about small and medium-sized businesses. And of, let's say, hey, am I still a free person? Can I act the way I want to act? Or is, this calls for, again, diving deeper into yourself. Who am I? To create that anchor in yourself and say, nobody can change me. Nobody can change me in my core. Never. It is never possible. But this will also be a challenging period to something new that is coming up as well. Well, this is actually my answer to the 2 questions that you had. I can go to the gift now, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So what can I offer to the audience? I have a free gift, and that is a booklet that I wrote in PDF, The Magic of Your Shadow Sign. So if you go, I will see to it that in the website there is a link, and then you can say, oh, I want that gift, and we will send it to you. And if you want to do a diamond astrology reading, especially focused on diamond astrology, of course, in combination with the traditional chart, right? So I can say, hey, this is the black moon, this is the corrected black moon, this is the mean black moon, and the distance between is called the cosmic birth channel. That is how we work. This is the diamond. In this chart, it's conjunct Saturn. This is Priapus, so we can see here lunar axis, black moon Priapus. This is the black sun. This is the diamond. So there is a special diamond astrology software, you know. So on top of this traditional chart, that navigation route can be unfolded, and you can learn a lot about yourself, I believe, if you like to.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing these offers with us. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy getting a reading and your free gift.
Yeah, I hope so. All right.
Okay.
This was my well, what I could offer to the audience and you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions just so I can get more clarity and so the audience can get more clarity. But yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, you can ask me. I hope I know the answer, but let me know.
Okay. Okay. So how do you approach the concept of life purpose in astrology? Is it something predetermined, fixed, or can it evolve and change over time? Is that too detailed?
No, that's all right.
Okay.
You have the blueprint. You're born with a suitcase,
Mhm.
and you created that suitcase yourself. So you're born with that, and that limits your, let's say, that's what you created. I mean, everybody creates their own chart, actually. So okay, that is my blueprint, and within that framework, I can do as I like. So I very much believe in yes, you are that conscious creator, and the more you start to learn to create as a conscious being, that will open doors for you. Because let's turn it the other side. Let's look it from the opposite side. Everybody or people, or when you create unconsciously, that will always mostly lead to pain and suffering.
Oh my,
Unconscious creation causes mostly suffering because you don't know what you're doing,
that's true.
and yet you are manifesting, but you do it unconsciously.
Mhm.
So if you learn to say I'm a conscious manifester,
Mhm.
that can, okay, then I can steer my own boat,
Mhm.
and that is of course gold if you can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, within the help of the cosmic, let's say, of the stars and the planets, it can help you. You can navigate within, okay, what is the influence now? But you are the captain of your own ship. Definitely.
I love that answer. You kind of a little bit leaned into what I was going to ask next, and I was going to ask you, how can someone create consciously? Would you mind elaborating on it?
You can create consciously if you know who you are,
Mhm.
and if you know what you're doing, and if you have the skills, let's say, to, of course, you have, you know, what you want. That's a very simple answer. So everybody can do it,
Mhm.
but it starts with your own responsibility. Responsibility, that's one. And say, all right, I am a conscious person. I know who I am, and I know what I want, and that's my path towards it. So that then you can be conscious of it. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so how does astrology assist in identifying potential obstacles or challenges that may arise as individuals strive to fulfill their unique purpose or purposes?
It's not astrology, it's your own thoughts, your own behavior, your own attitude towards what you think the stars can do. Actually, all planetary influences, they can sometimes be challenging, they can be beneficial, but what is challenging can be bent over to positive
Mhm.
outcome.
That's
It
true.
never it never is actually a negative or evil, or that's absolutely not true. Uh, I believe, you know, that you can see the universe as a very loving entity. Actually, it is, or I don't know what the word now, or totality, that's the word. If you compare it like this, when you have a garden and you just let the garden, you don't cultivate your garden, and you just let it go for some weeks or months, then that garden will start to grow the herbs and the plants that you need. This is the same for the universe. The universe only wants to give you the best, if only you see it. If you don't make your garden like you cover it with stones or rocks, all the plants are gone. You just don't see it. But if you get an eye for the loving attitude of the universe, the only thing that the universe is doing to bring you into balance. That's what it does. So sometimes, yeah, you have some challenges, but that's also always for growth.
I love that answer. Thank you so much for that.
All
So,
right.
how do you address the idea that some individuals may have multiple purposes or callings throughout their lives?
They may have multiple purposes. What do you say?
How do you address the idea that some individuals may have multiple purposes?
Oh, but I believe, of course, there are people who have indeed more purposes than only one. There is not one purpose to go. There are more things that you probably want to explore. And some people are more gifted or talented to let's say, to go that path. Other people not. Why? I don't know. That's not a question. But if you say, oh, I have many more, let's say I want to achieve this and that, that's totally okay. But that's in the soul contracts that you made before you were born. Say, all right, there are so many things that I want to explore or learn or investigate. Good, awesome. And some want to go quick, and some want to say, oh no, I go slow, I'm still tired of my last life, so cool. So I think it's a bit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and this question is really, really meaty. Okay. So, have you observed any astrological indicators that suggest a person may be more inclined towards a collective or societal purpose rather than an individual one? And how do you interpret and support that individual? That one was really meaty.
There are indications in the chart about the we part of the chart and the me part of the chart. Now, if you look at the, let's say, upper part of the chart or the zodiac, the we part starts with Libra, and up to and including Pisces. That's all we. It's we. And below that there is I. That's the development of the I. And if there are persons who say, oh, I have a collective purpose, or I have more social purpose in this life, good, follow the path. That's awesome. Pisces, Aquarian energy, that's the path to go, then go that path. But you always have to look if there is enough individual strength and power to go that path, because if there is not, you can be swallowed by it. That's always the case. So like politicians, they can be great people who understand how to rule or manage, but they don't understand, they don't have enough inner security to be that anchor inside, and then you can see something hollow. But there is greed for power, but inside there is weakness and hollowness. So that is always a matter of balance.
I know you've talked about this a lot through this entire conversation, and I really want to get clear on how can someone learn to be balanced? How can someone learn to have courage and trust in themselves? What can they do to truly solidify this I want to say this state, this emotionality, this paradigm, what can they do to truly be courageous, be trustworthy of themselves, believe in themselves?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, first of all, it is what you actually fear the most.
Mhm,
That's where you should go, you know? So, fear is the best teacher. It can be scary, but once you look fear into the face, fear disappears.
mhm,
It just disappears. I would say go within and go to that you fear so much.
mhm.
There is actually nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. No, no, absolutely not. There is nothing to fear. But the only thing is, it's all in your mind, in your thoughts, and it's sometimes it's hidden in your shadow part, the shadow you. Explore it. That's where the pearls are. And so I would say dive into that and don't be afraid. If you want to develop courage, go there.
Mhm.
And you will always find you won't be eaten, you won't be beaten, you
Mhm.
will survive, you will emerge as an enlightened being.
Mhm.
Because and that once you have done that, you say, oh, I know now how it works to dismantle fear. And that gives you courage.
I love that so much. Thank you for that.
All
Now I
right.
want to ask,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Do you have a prediction for the future that you would like to share with the audience?
It depends very much on what you decide, as I
Mhm,
have told in the splitting of worlds, the
mhm,
Pluto in Aquarius. If your soul decides to stay in the 3D world, the third dimensional world,
mhm,
that's a choice. And you will, let's say, give your mind and power away to people who want to govern over you, to rule you. That's a choice. So if you, and I believe the audience, that this audience won't choose that, but they will choose for sovereignty. It's all about sovereignty.
mhm,
Now, if you choose that path, um, let's say the more you go your own timeline, your own path, the more you will create a bubble around you, or an aura around you of protection.
mhm,
And you will be seeing the three-dimensional world, but not participating in it.
mhm, mhm,
And so predictions can only be made for either that part of the world, splitting up the three-dimensional world, that
mhm,
will become, as many people know, darker and darker and darker and more violent, not very nice to live in, or a world that is, let's say, characterized by paths of unique timelines, like paths that you can see in the universe, that everybody, oh, that it's a very unique timeline that we all go. And these timelines of us as conscious creators, of people who are waking up, of enlightened beings, uh, these paths are much and much more going to uniqueness. So predictions is very, I think it's not easy to make predictions in these days.
mhm,
Either you do it into two worlds, but I believe if you choose for your heart and consciousness and creation, you can actually make very much your own predictions as well. Your creations, that's what I mean.
mhm,
But Pluto is splitting us up.
mhm,
Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is the people, and when you go on the Leo side, for instance, you don't choose for technology, but for the heart.
mhm,
Um, then you are much more the creator yourself,
mhm,
and that is actually what we are supposed to do.
mhm. Okay. Thank you for saying that. And thank you again so much for being here. This has been a really, really amazing interview. And you shared so much information. I can't wait for people to really enjoy and soak it in. And I have one more question for you. If people would like to work with you, how can they find you? Oh, wait, you have
Mm,
a website right there, but
yes. Well, my website, it's on the here and on the slide, moniqueleurink.com. And if you go there, you can find everything to contact or ask questions or whatever you like. But we will answer you right away. My assistant, I have an assistant as well. So we are here to answer any questions.
Okay. And thank you again so much. I'm so grateful to have had you and to learn from you. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Believe me, I love to share this information with you. And thank you so much for inviting me.